Hi, everybody, and thanks for listening to Incoherent Ramblings. We just wanted to let you know that there's a new page for our random ramblings on our website where you, yes, you, could make submissions on what we might cover as a random ramble. We might not even know about it until the actual day of the ramble. So feel free to join us. Well, to
join us or die.
Hey, look, everyone else is here too.
Hey, we're all staring at Joey. Nice
Also, we know that we have some subscribers out there, so please feel free to not only email us, but also to comment on any one of our wonderful pages, good or bad. We don't care. Just comment, so we know you're out there.
Take two.
What?
Dude, I don't even remember what I said the first time.
That was good.
That was okay, good. It might be good. It might be.
It's random.
All right.
Prepare yourself for a sprawling discussion on just about anything, where critical thinking meets pop culture in a collision of mind-bending proportions. Please secure all neurons and prepare for full frontal cortex. It's time for Incoherent Ramblings. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Incoherent Ramblings. I'm your host, Joey Schammel. Along with me today is...
Oh, man, it scared me. Oh,
Cale Anderson.
Daryl Jors.
And we're brought to you this week by Transformers Generations Trail Cutter, who used to be...
Trail Mix.
Trailblazer.
Trailblazer, not Trail Mix. Trailblazer.
Meow Mix.
And remember also, if you want to email us, you can reach us show at iamrambling.com.
You're not supposed to remember to say that.
I know.
Yeah. Whoa.
I'm on the ball today.
I guess.
I took my Ritalin. I'm good.
All right.
Well, we're back in our regular spot for podcast and not Yosemite.
Yeah. Yellow, shut up! We should explain this to the audience and Paul. I kept saying Yosemite at Yellowstone, and then they were playing, and
you were telling me at one point, there's where the Yosemite River goes through, and I'm like, could a river possibly reach Yosemite from here? And would it be called that? Or should I just tell Joey that he's probably saying Yosemite again when he meant Yellowstone?
And we actually got to the point where we were playing the game where we were actually saying Yosemite on purpose to see, and he would always go along with it.
Wouldn't notice it, yeah.
And for folks at home, by the way, Yosemite is much better than Yellowstone. I mean, Yellowstone's cool and it got some cool features, but for just awe-inspiring sheer cliffs and vistas, Yosemite.
I would have to agree.
Yeah, Yosemite's so much better. But Yellowstone was cool. As you guys know, we gave you the podcast last week. So let's move on with this week, which is going to be social networking. Paul's choice for this week. And
who has the next choice?
That would be me. And
Okay.
I'm already prepared.
All right.
Ooh.
Good.
All right, so social networking. But before we start that, we are going to go to the pre-ramble.
Chalupas.
All right, two things we're going to hit on the pre-ramble.
Chalupas.
First thing
Fried
is
tacos are delicious.
this week, there was in California, there was an Amber Alert, which I think is nationwide now, which is, of course, if a child gets abducted and an Amber Alert goes out and goes on all the freeway signs saying, look for this vehicle. But this Amber Alert went to everybody's phone, and it had this sound. Insert here, Daryl. Okay.
If I can find that sound.
No. You can insert it later.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Oh, well,
If I can.
if not, it's it's the emergency alert time.
Right.
So
Okay.
a lot of people heard it on their phone all of a sudden, and it scared the crap out of some people.
I was sitting on my couch, and my phone right next to me is like making the screech, and I'm going, "What the hell?" And I look at it, and the screen turns on. The notification area has some red yield-looking symbol and red text, and I'm just going like, "What the hell hacked my phone?" You know.
My thought was terrorist attack because I recognized the sound,
Right.
and I was like, "Oh, it goes on the phone now. That's cool." And there's been the terrorist warnings for the last week or two, and I was like, "Oh, something happened." But no.
Linda and I were watching the TV at the same time, and so it said it's an Amber Alert.
Oh, right. You knew right off the bat.
knew it was
How about you, Paul?
I was laying down and I heard it, and I thought it was like a burglar alarm from the next door, so I laid there for another 2 minutes. I decided to check my phone.
You thought someone was robbing the Taco Bell again.
Yep.
Well, it happened.
Like, screw it.
It wasn't
After
morning,
scared
was
the
it?
crap out of me.
It was
No,
early
it
afternoon.
was,
Because
it was at night.
for some people, it happened at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yes.
It was like delayed or something, and so it woke them up or woke their kids up. And so it's not just the fact.
Where you were.
Right,
Yeah.
because in 2011, when they passed this thing saying Amber Alerts and all these things would happen, basically what they said was, you are no longer opting in to get these alerts. You have to opt out. It's automatic. So if you have a cell phone, you got this Amber Alert. And so there's two complaints right now. One is that people don't want to deal with this and shouldn't have to opt out. The other is the noise is freaking scary ass and
I didn't even know where Boulevard, California was.
I know.
Yeah,
it wasn't very clear Amber Alert. I'm like,
yeah,
what?
it was a weird alert. Like if they'd have had a more normal name, but it's like,
It's a Riverside.
oh, I'm supposed to look
and,
on the boulevard or
Sunburn.
something. It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look at the Boulevard. Well, I know a couple of those.
I
exactly.
opened the app up or whatever, the settings, and I did click to opt out, and I felt guilty, but I opted back in.
Well,
It's
What
worse
if
than
I'm the one that saw
Okay,
the car?
I heard this
It's
on-
all my fault. I opted out.
yeah, I heard this on the radio today, and a lady called in, and she actually said, no, they should make it where you can't opt out, because you know how people are. If you give them the chance to opt out, then no one will be looking for these things. So it should be forced on everyone. And I was like, dude, you can't force that on everyone. It's like, there's something called like civil liberties. You can't just say, your cell phone's going to have this, because people who opt out are not going to look anyway. If you force it on them, it's just going to be, oh, I'm not going to look for that.
Yeah.
You know what? Though they could put it in the EULA that you have to agree
Really?
to do that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah,
Because
what's a
you
EULA?
sign an end user license
Oh,
agreement.
the thing we always hit accept without reading.
Well, after
Yeah.
the Patriot
Right.
Act, we
The
don't
human
really have
sunny
civil
pad.
liberties anyway.
Yeah, that's
anymore,
all right.
So
But yeah, so and it was funny because I hit more information because it said the Boulevard thing, and I was like, that doesn't tell me much. So I hit more information, and it just took me to the text page and had the same thing on it. I was like, it's the same thing. I still don't know what this is about.
Yeah, it was very weird. But we were supposed to be looking for a blue Versa, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they apparently somebody spotted it up in Oregon.
But I will say, I bet that any stripper named Amber will now use that sound as their intro music.
Okay, moving on from that, I
Hey,
have
it's an alert. She's coming.
I have coming to the store.
Yeah.
I have a new. I have another topic real quick here. I just heard on the way over here on the radio that in Korea, I'm assuming South Korea, because North Korea wouldn't do this. They have just or was it Japan? I don't know. Show notes.
You know, they're right next to each other.
Yeah.
Some Asian.
I think it was
Not
Korea.
really,
I think it was South Korea. Anyway, they just opened 15 miles of highway that has electrical chargers under the road that charges the cars as they drive.
Yeah.
So if you have an electrical car that has this, and they're just doing it with their public
What
transportation
the buses
stuff,
doing?
the buses and all
I heard about
that. So
yeah.
basically, you don't have to, the battery's like a third as small as a regular battery, so it saves on weight. And you just drive on these streets, and it charges while you're driving. So I just wanted to think what you thought about that, because I'd never heard of that before, and I didn't know that they were even thinking about. It makes me think of like Minority Report, kind of, and all those shows where the cars are driving.
they've been proposing this kind of stuff for a long time, but never heard of anybody actually implementing.
Well, which
it.
is why the Google car is such a big breakthrough, because everyone thought just to control an automated vehicle would take massive infrastructure changes. But this wouldn't be the same kind of massive change, because you could do it on just select stretches of highway to recharge an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to know that you don't have to redo the entire infrastructure. But
No, you just have
if
charging
it's-
zones.
But like, you know, if every 100 miles there's like a 10-mile stretch that would maybe conceivably recharge your vehicle most of the way. And that way you can make it to the next stretch.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And it's funny because it's not even a huge infrastructure. They said it's just a coil that you basically, it's like when they're burying the wires for telephone.
You have
or
to
whatever.
rip up the street. And
Well, there is that. Yeah, you got to close it down, but
Right.
that
But
happens.
that's pretty neat though.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
It's that must be like inversion charging, I guess. It's kind of like what you do with cell phones, where you just like
Right.
slap it onto something and it
Slap
charges
it up!
wirelessly.
You'd fap
It's
it.
cool.
It's one thing that. The one thing that actually, not so much that, but makes me realize we're in the future, is things like that, sure, but I'm doing things like on Google Drive and email, and everything is doing what I want without me having to worry about it. And I'm realizing how complicated that is, and that I don't have to worry about it. And it's like the first steps to artificial intelligence, where they're doing things like, I'm typing something, they're saving it, and I can get, like from Trello, which is what we use, I can go from Trello directly to a Google Drive document, Or when I'm doing email, I can set up things to make them go where they want, and it's the first steps towards artificial reality, which I think is very cool.
It's also putting a lot of dependence on the company and stuff. So it's hoping that they stay on track, that they keep innovation going, and that there's the control that they're going to have over it and stuff. So it's a give and take. Obviously we love it because it's free, and people argue that Google's taking information, what you're clicking or what your email is, so they can give you ads. Well, that's what you pay for having for free.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it too.
But one thing I do like about Google Drive, I was thinking about this with Trello because I was using both of them this week. Trello is just online, and you use it to organize basically, and Google Drive, though...
project management.
Yeah, it's a project. All right. Yeah. Google Drive, though, let's say Google shuts down for whatever reason. I've still got all my files on Google Drive, but they're also on all my computer, and because it makes a copy of it onto all your... and keeps them all synced. Mm-hmm. As opposed to Trello, if Trello ever goes out of business or shuts down or loses it, all that stuff's gone. Like, I don't have any backup of it anymore. And I'm using it now as one of my, to-do things and my ideas on there, and I was thinking, what am I going to do if this goes down?
At least a lot of companies are looking at implementing portable standards, and we're going to be getting into this more when we talk about social networking, but it seems like one of the majors, Facebook, has been a little bit against using open standards because they kind of want to be the internet for people. Like, they want people to think, I want to go online, therefore I'm going to go to Facebook.
And they kind of want the new AOL.
Yeah, I was about to say that worked so well for AOL.
A little bit. But it is working well for them. But the thing is, some companies like that do they resist using open standards to a certain degree. But a lot of other companies like Google are way more open, and Trello might have a good way to export your data. So at least you have a database of all your cards in the system, and you can maybe import them into some other thing that's compatible later on.
Well, the way Google's going, they may become the standard. If they become so big, everyone has to follow them in order to...
but what I mean by open standards is generally something that's open source. We're going to use a standard kind of database for a certain kind of data set and a certain communication infrastructure. And if all of that is open source, it means it's open to the public. People can understand. If you're a coder, you can look at it and understand how it works. Yeah. Realize there aren't secret back doors and things like that. So it's not popping your data out to the NSA every 5 seconds. That kind of stuff.
By the way, probably about 10 years ago, about 10 years ago, I was listening on KFI to that he's not on anymore, but that crazy stock guy. Oh, look at this!
With the sound effects.
Forget his name. He was saying, a good thing to invest in right now is Google. You should invest in Google. And I remember thinking, that's just a search engine. And so recently, on my what's it called, Google Now, I put up the stocks for Google. Mm-hmm. It's $800. Yeah. Oh my god! I just want one, and it'll cost me $1,000. It's jeez.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, let's end the pre-ramble. Let's move on to social networking. Pre-ramble end! Pre-ramble! With Joe is all good about things that goes on. The taco's good, too.
Baja style.
All right, so moving on to social networking, which was Paul's today. Why don't we look at the history of social networking, which, of course, couldn't really... Well, what existed before the internet with social networking?
Rocks with...
No.
With rocks. You like my rock. You give thumb up. Thank you, rock.
Yes, and then smoke signals.
You're not my friend, smash.
And then smoke signals. And then...
maybe we should start with the electronic revolution.
Yeah, maybe email.
Yeah. Well, no.
Email was the first social network.
No. There's something before email. Party lines.
Oh, yeah.
Party. I never tried one, but think about it. That's the first social network. Was when people would get on the
calling.
Yeah. Or four-way or group calling.
I did a three-way with Joey once.
Those are mostly sex lines, right, or whatever. Did party lines ever? I don't know. Did anyone ever use one? I was a kid when they came.
I always saw them on TV, they were all making them look like they were cool, but I never knew anybody that had one.
Yeah, right. And so then after that, of course, email.
Well, BBS's.
Was email? I guess BBS was before email, yeah. So, Daryl, we talked about BBS's before, but I think you're more familiar on give us a quick overview of BBS's.
Well, you would use a dedicated phone line to call into a BBS, and sometimes they would have
bulletin board service.
bulletin board, system. I think. Yeah. So some of them were like single line, which meant that the only interaction you had with other people was to like drop an electronic message for them, and then they would pick it up some later time and maybe respond to you. But other systems had multiple lines, like Bodtown had like 32 lines. So that one had like an active chat and everything. So it was a real kind of community focused. So a lot of other BBSs I knew about were more like, here's where you get your pirated games kind of stuff. Not that I did any of that.
No, of course not.
Never.
Now, okay, what came next? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, but what started with this is that's where like the chat room began. Because you log into these and maybe, the really big ones like Bodtown and Atlantis and all that, they would maybe have like 20 lines, let's say,
Atlantis.
or whatever. And it would have like, you're chatting with people usually all over just in your local area or the area code, depending where the phone number was.
Which is true. Every now and then, like, Bodtown had like a meet space thing. It means like, let's get together for real. Like, I remember
you go to like
a Bodtown event at
golf
Farrell's
and stuff or something. Or,
Meat Space, I saw that porn.
It's like Office Space.
That's MySpace porn.
Well, following the thank you. Following and I have a question. Maybe Daryl or anybody can answer. What came next? Was it the AOL CompuServe things or the emails? Because didn't emails come out of AOL? Yeah,
probably for the public.
Yeah,
like mass, probably AOL.
Because you would have
Prodigy, wasn't that out?
Well, CompuServe and Prodigy were a little earlier than AOL.
Yeah, because you couldn't have nobody had email.
Well, here's one of the things about that is that CompuServe was proprietary. You could only send mail to other CompuServe users. Right. So it's kind of in relation to the open standard thing. Email became established as a standard for everyone to use to interchange messages. But before that was really finalized, everyone had their own idea about how it was done. So CompuServe users could mail other CompuServe users. Prodigy users, they were in their own box separately. Right. AOL users, them too. Eventually, there became this open standard where everyone could intercommunicate.
Well, and
SMTP.
Simple mail transfer protocol.
And I remember, when I was a kid, it was our friend Jared had his parents had CompuServe, I think, and that was the first I'd ever heard of it. I didn't really get it or understand it, but as I got older and we got internet service ISPs, internet service providers, and we had our own emails and could email everyone. I knew a lot of people still on AOL, and the best quote I'd ever heard was, AOL is like a fishbowl floating in the ocean, and people in AOL are in the fishbowl, and the internet's the ocean.
Right, and
it was like a safe zone for everyone. It was
they gave you like a little like porthole to look through to see the rest of the ocean
That's cool.
through their browser, but you had to kind of hunt for it or know where it was, But that was usually that was my experience with AOL. Is like I didn't care about all their stuff. I would just go instantly to the web browser.
Yeah, it was just used as a way to get to the internet.
Right.
And those were AOL and CompuServe. Those were really the first internet, or I shouldn't say internet, but social communities that were online or over great distances outside of the phone, because that's where people would chat or
a lot of forums,
email forums. Yeah. How about this one? You guys remember ICQ?
Oh yeah,
that's one of the earliest instant messaging services.
That was weird
because it was live.
Yeah, it was so weird for me.
It would pop up and be like, "Kale's online," and you're like, "Oh."
Yeah, it was so weird because for the first.
Kale? Are you?
I know it was like the first time you could be like,
"What are you doing?" I don't know. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know what this person's doing, and he's like way over there.
Yeah.
Well, for anyone
2 blocks away from me.
For anyone who's not familiar with ICQ, it was basically the same thing as AOL Instant Messenger, AIM. Or today's like Google Hangouts, only minus the video and audio support, but instant chatting back and forth.
Yeah, that was it was just one of those cool things. And we all grew up with telephones, so it's not that big of a deal to be like, it's almost a lesser thing. But it was so cool. It's like he just typed that. Oh my god,
it was great too with that, because getting to as social network is the anonymous factor, the anonymity out of it, because. You could talk to somebody and you can interact with them, but they don't really know you. So you're basically giving them your version of what you want them to see you as.
Yeah, and we're going to talk.
So you can talk about whatever you want, and then
Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit later, about the anonymity that comes with it. And yeah, because I got some stories on that too. And we'll mention chat roulette. Penis. Oh wait, that's your job now. You're a penis man.
Penis.
All right. So internet gets bigger, and then comes MySpace. Everybody agree that's kind of the next step?
Yeah, sort of.
After forums.
Well, you know what? Forums.
Forums.
So let's talk about forums, okay.
One of my friends, Chris, he ran a forum called Porcupine, and it was kind of a cool place because it was like our little spot of the internet. Several friends of mine at the time. It was just like our little place to share stuff together. It was like whenever we saw something funny on the internet, that's like the first place we would go, is like share it on Porcupine. And that way, we would just have different threads that we would do, like, here's like funny stuff, here's interesting stuff, here's a place where we just like talk about different things. And it became a really fun socializing thing where we would just go in there and, chat. The thing is that it's walled off. It was like only members allowed, and it was like our little clubhouse on the internet, which is what sets it apart from something like,
because it'd be public or login is private.
Like, we knew that whatever we did in there wasn't going to be seen by people besides those who were hanging out.
Yeah.
So it was very specific, which meant that, we had our own little form of anarchy there because we knew prying eyes weren't going to get to it,
In fact, now I actually didn't go on any of them.
I never did any of those either.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I remember you guys talking about them. I mean, aren't they kind of like what blogs have been? Not blogs.
There are still forums out there now.
Well, yeah, because like
I run a forum right now for Tron, for Tron 2.0.
And Transformers World 2005 has the forums for like citing. That's a forum, right?
It's a forum.
Okay, yeah,
Even
okay. So I do use
Facebook pages are kind of like a forum in a way because they're moderated.
Yeah, it's moved. That's
okay. Well, do you think MySpace came from the idea of the forum?
I kind of think so. But it was. I think
MySpace
instead of being like a small group's little clubhouse on the internet, and now became this thing where everyone's invited, but you still had control over who you shared your information with, by and large.
I find it interesting that MySpace started as a music thing and Facebook started as like a college thing, and they both ended up being something completely different. Well, not completely different, but becoming social networks. They didn't start out to be social networks. I mean, they did, but not as they became.
I think the main thing that differentiates the social networks we're going to be talking about, starting with MySpace, is that they were more of like a broadcast platform, because you could set up, like, you're a band or something, right? You set up a page on MySpace,
right,
and the entire world can view it.
Yeah.
But a forum, someone has to sign up for the forum and be specifically allowed to see it, which isn't good for mass marketing at all.
That's a good point. It's almost like MySpace was a mixture between a web page, because back then it was hard to make a web page unless you knew HTML and how to really program it. Right. So it's like was a mixture between a forum and a web page.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really a way for people to finally have a space on the web, their MySpace, to express themselves. Because if you remember the old days of MySpace, it was just god-awful crap all over a page, like a picture of everything. Yeah, and then it was like, look at what I like. It's like, this is what I like. And you go on there and a song plays, like, my favorite song, whatever. And it's like, how many times are you like sitting there and your volume's all the way up, and the freaking song pops on?
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
That was like a point in history that'll hopefully never repeat itself, where there was a page that had such bad markup, MySpace in general.
What do you mean markup?
The way it was coded in HTML.
Oh, okay.
The markup was so like out of standard that it looked different on every browser you ran it on.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
So, that kind of thing, again, back to standards, people are, like the newer social networks are using the standards a lot more cleanly, and therefore they basically view the same whatever browser you're on.
Yeah, I remember that recently, I remember hearing about some celebrities that bought MySpace and were trying to bring it back.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen.
Well, what was interesting is Kale and I discovered Facebook before a lot of people did.
It's like Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah,
I think.
Kale and I discovered Facebook before a lot of people did, because we all had MySpace by this point, and we used it. But I liked it, but because it was a good way to connect to people. But I just it was too inconsistent, and I could never. It seemed too complicated, so I wasn't on it a lot. But Kale and I found Facebook, and our thing was, this is like MySpace for adults.
Yeah, that's exactly what we said.
Because we were able to do applications, which you couldn't do on MySpace as much, or I don't think you could at all. And the applications at the time weren't all games. I didn't even start playing games on Facebook till later. It was like where you could organize things, and I don't remember what they were, but Kayla and I tried to use it a bit.
Yeah.
And then I kind of said, "Oh, I'm not really using this," so I stopped. And then everybody started using it.
Things that pry into
blew
your
up.
privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Our student employees and stuff were telling me all about Facebook. They're like, "Yeah, Paul, you need to get on Facebook." And they show me what it is and stuff. And I told them, I have MySpace. I don't want to go through setting it up all over again.
A lot of people said that.
And I was like,
hearing
I was like, at the time, MySpace did exactly what I wanted. Everybody was on MySpace that I was connecting with.
See, there's another thing that needs to be figured out is like having a universal profile that can be portable wherever you go. And they are starting to tackle that with like the unified Facebook login that so many sites have, and Google has it too, where you can go to some brand new service you've never used before, and they might have a Facebook login button, and it's basically just an app tied to your Facebook profile. So you go in there, you don't have to set up everything all again. You use the same password as on Facebook. Yeah. So that kind of thing is helping. But I also really want to see where there's like maybe when you install Windows, you just make like a V card of yourself or something like that has all the information you could ever want to put in on any site, and you can already mark it as like, this is public information, this other section is private information that I'll only share with family and friends, and things like that. Make this profile once and edit it in one spot, and then have that propagate out to all the services you use online.
But that would mean that these services have to be connected with Windows.
Well, memo lane.
Well, what I'm saying is like it could be an interchangeable format where they just say like you can either like you sign up to Facebook for the first time, they could say fill in your blank profile or give us the V card. Right, that kind of thing.
Well, one service that's trying to do things like that is called Memo Lane. Yeah. And Memo Lane is what they wanted was for you to go to Memo Lane, and what you do is you plug in all of your MySpace, Facebook, any other, and all the Picasa, all your photo places, and you put it in there, and then when you go there, all of it pops up.
Okay.
And it was a cool idea, but it hasn't caught on, and I don't know, they haven't quite made it as user-friendly as they, I guess, would need to.
For something like that, that's maybe a little bit similar. I kind of liked Friend Feed also.
Friend Feed?
But that's been kind of languishing. No one seems to use it. But it is kind of nice because you can tie it to all your different services, and it gives like one stream of all your updates.
Right.
Like I can tweet something, it shows up in there. I make a status update on Facebook, it shows up there too. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's one thing Facebook definitely is doing is it's incorporating that. It's trying to become that through evolution.
I think the thing is that it's
because they want everybody to use Facebook. They don't want you using
all of these networks are playing King of the Hill though, because it's like they want to be top dog. They want to be the one that you log into automatically when you go on the internet, and that way they can monitor everything you do, market to you. Because if you're not paying for it, you're the product. They're going to make their money by marketing to you because they know everything about you because you're sharing it with everyone.
And Facebook really...
I was going to say it's ending up being another Blu-ray versus HD.
Yeah.
Because...
standards war.
There's a standards war, like, what's it going to be?
And the problem right now, the benefit for Facebook is that they have a huge user base. And they've made it so easy, whereas with Google... Google Plus, I love Google Plus and using it and stuff. But I don't see my mom switching over. I don't see my wife switching over and stuff. Because it does everything that Facebook does. Facebook does everything that they want, and everyone's already on Facebook. They don't want to go through the whole connection again and start all over.
Right. And that was the same thing.
It's getting a buy-in from everyone.
That's the same thing with MySpace to Facebook. You heard it like you said, like you did, heard it all the time. I don't want to go over to Facebook. I got everything on MySpace. But I think Google Plus is not coming in like Google does. They don't come in and they go, bam, here we are, and you need to come to us now. They start something out and they build on it and they work. And if it doesn't work, they get rid of it and they keep what they can. And I think after a while, because the thing is, Facebook gets your likes and all that only for advertisement because that's all they do. Right. Google is so broad and so huge, they are forming a picture of you to help you on the internet. In your searches, in anything you're looking
to help
at
themselves.
Well, obviously, but because they have to make money, their company and everything. But that's the thing is, you don't see that advantage on Facebook as much.
Right.
You see it on Google where you're going for a search.
Yeah, Facebook seems like it's more greedy. Like they're always going, give us more, give us more, give us more, and we'll give you less and less and less.
Yes, good call. But Google seems to be, let's all do this together.
Yeah, they're good at reciprocating enough that we just go ahead and say, all right, we'll submit to our robotic overlords.
Oh, yeah. Let us drive down the street, take pictures of everything.
Yeah.
And listen in on your wireless connection, whatever. But you know what? You got Google Maps.
But honestly, though, I'm glad.
Thank you.
Because honestly, I love the idea that I can go anywhere, not anywhere, but almost now anywhere in the U.S. on Google Maps or on Google Earth and just be like, what's the street look like?
Yeah.
Boom!
Yeah.
Linda and I are going up to San Simeon to see her new nephew, and so we're gonna go, since we're there, we're gonna go to the Hearst Castle and all that stuff. But anyway, is that
cool place.
She went on and put in her trip, and then she clicked on Street View so she could see exactly where we were gonna go and where the hotel was gonna be that we're gonna stay.
Yeah.
So she was going, I love this.
Well, I like that they started doing things on the phone too, like when you use the Google Navigator. When you're getting close to your destination, they give you the street view.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So like,
that's
here's
cool.
the building you're looking for.
Yeah, that's great. Really good. And they used to have a thing where if this is incorrect, click it. I did that once for some place and it was fixed like a month later. I was really impressed. But also with Google Maps or the Google Pictures, have you guys heard about the people who look for the van and try to chase it down so they're on the pictures? I think it's freaking hilarious. I would love to do
photo
it.
Bomb the street.
Right, they're in costumes and they're
all fighting.
That's hilarious.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Every now and then they capture something they weren't supposed to.
Yeah, that doesn't last too long. But people do document it before it's gone.
So Google. So when it comes down to it, as a social network, Google social network is not at the place where Facebook is, because Facebook has so many people on it. There's so many connections, and that's what social networking is all about. A lot of people don't go on to Google Plus. Like I've been keeping updates on my new boy Wesley, who's still in the NICU, and I put them both. I started out on Google and I started on Facebook. I didn't get any responses on Google, like nothing.
Right.
Facebook right away. 30 responses,
Yeah.
And so I didn't do anything else on Google Plus. It was the social network to do it on is Facebook right now.
And that's
go on.
no,
My point's going to be better. My point's probably better after yours. So go.
Oh, you say mine sucks, and you're gonna.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Stop fighting over points.
We'll get into fighting over Facebook later, but or on Facebook.
But
Facebook,
All right, that's it. Slap fight.
That's what.
Slap fight.
Ow!
All right.
Do you remember your point?
Good, a little bit. That's what's great about Facebook. It's just, since I don't know what the hell I was going to say about everyone's on it and stuff, and it's like it's a great way to post and connect with people that you may not talk to or see on a regular basis.
Yeah, like my high school friends. I can't believe
Well,
this.
You don't want to talk to all the time.
That I got hooked back up with all of my high school friends, and it's great because they're acquaintances. It's so long ago that now they're acquaintances, but it's cool. They get to see what I'm up to if they want to look, and they see. I get to see what they're doing.
It's a tool.
Our 20th anniversary.
Yeah, I am. I mean,
not anniversary. Our 20th reunion for high school is coming up. Is later this month, so. That's a big Facebook thing. I heard about it on Facebook. They have links to where you can pay for your tickets and stuff like that on there. So I'm probably going.
Facebook is a fantastic way to make connections if you want to, and that's what's cool about it. A lot of people are like, Facebook, I'm not getting into that thing. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you get stuck in it, you get addicted. Yeah. And honestly, I was kind of like that because Kale and I had found it, and then I stopped using it, and then it became popular.
Yeah, but once we got it, I just used it.
You kept using it, and I stopped.
And almost immediately, I just never went back to Facebook, not even to log in.
You mean MySpace?
I'm sorry, yes. What did I say?
You said Facebook.
You said Yosemite.
See, I'm still saying Yosemite.
So, but the thing is that everyone, I had a Facebook account, but I never used it because I don't know, the way Mark Zuckerberg thinks, the way he's got it set up, I didn't like it. It's better now, but I still was not the way. It's
still kind of a cluttered mess.
Yeah, exactly, and I don't like, and you can't organize it to a way that is simpler.
Yeah.
And so I never liked it because of that. But then what actually happened was I found a game. And I've had this thing most of my life where I stay away from like video games as much as possible because I get addicted to them and they take all my time away. Mm-hmm. Those who went to high school with me will remember in the arcades I'd just stand there and watch everyone else play because I knew I'd spend all my money.
Bride of Pinbot.
Okay, I did play that because it was a video game, but I spent a lot. Okay. Your turn, Daryl.
Oh, Raiden 2.
Yeah, there it is.
Dude,
Oh, what was
just
the
so you
game?
know, Raiden Daryl was the Raiden 2 master,
He was.
dude.
Thank you, sir.
He was
I was like an
Galaxia.
honorary Asian playing that game.
he was. There's no
Okay,
way I
wait,
could keep up on it with his quarter.
Here's what
Like,
sucks about going to the arcade with your friends, trying to get out of there. Because this is what would happen. It would be like, I'd be like, hey, Daryl, it's time to go. And he'd be like, just let me finish the game. Okay. And then, like, Eddie's waiting with me.
Yeah, the thing is, I could play for like 50 minutes.
Well, okay, yeah, that sucked. But even so Eddie's like, well, I'm bored. I'm going to go play this game over here.
Yeah, exactly.
So Daryl's done, and they're like, all right, let's go. And he's like, wait until I finish this game. He's playing. Daryl's like, well, I'll play one more game. You're like, damn it, let's get out of here.
Pac-Man Arcade.
So anyway, what I was saying was,
Joe Shea.
I stayed away from. What was that one I played at PCC that I loved? There was that one game at the one.
Star something.
There was a
Yeah.
Starfighter or something. I don't know.
Gosh.
You just piloted a ship. It was cool.
Star Raiders was an old Atari game, so it wasn't that.
No.
It was something similar.
It was multiplayer, which is what I liked
Yeah.
about it. You could have.
I can picture it.
Yeah, I know. I got it in my head.
Space Raiders, maybe? I don't know. We'll have to look it up.
And now video games have actually become a social network too.
Well, and that's exactly what I was
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
Is that
Trash talking
I
over
didn't.
Call of Duty.
Okay,
There
I
you
didn't.
go.
I didn't understand how valuable Facebook was because I wasn't on it enough, and I felt it like an obligation. Have you ever seen that South Park episode where Stan's not on Facebook, and they're like, he finally gets on it, and everybody's on him, like, what? Aren't I your? His dad's like,
Yes.
aren't I your friend?
Yeah.
He's like, dude, no, I'm just not going on Facebook, but I'm not your friend. And it's hilarious because it's how I felt about Facebook at the time. It was like, if you don't go on and talk to people, it would be like they get all pissed, like, why aren't you responding to me? But then I found this game. It's called Family Village, and it was a way to make your family tree while you played a game. And I thought, that's brilliant. I'll use this as an excuse to play a game because it's actually doing something positive that is in the real world. I got so addicted to it. And so because I was on all the time, I saw the advantages of Facebook. You see what people are doing, you keep up with them, and you can put something where they don't know you're on at all. So I realized that it was a tool where you could keep up with people as much as you needed to. You could look into it as much as you needed to. You didn't have to let it control you. Except with the stupid games that freaking get you addicted. I finally got off of Family Village. I went to Coasterville. That was a mistake. Every day, Coasterville. Oh my God. But it got me onto Facebook, and now I regularly use it, and it is an awesome way to contact people, keep in touch with them.
So their ploy worked.
Yeah.
It did.
Yes, it
It's
did.
the games, and that's why another reason I think that even though you can play the games outside of Facebook most of the time, people do it in Facebook, and it connects you, and it brings you into Facebook. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons Facebook has expanded as it has, because people get addicted to the damn games, and then they start using the other stuff. Google Plus doesn't really have that.
And we're talking about casual gaming because there's
Right.
also social stuff
Right.
with like the
Well, like
MMOs
Song
and
Pop,
stuff
we
like
all
that.
play Song
Yeah.
Pop.
But we
You know
play
what, though?
yeah.
I always play those games on Android, so I
Yes,
don't
so
really
do I.
log into Facebook
Oh.
to do that.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah.
But now Google Plus, besides not having enough people, there's a problem with it, that especially recently. It's got confusing to me. I don't know if you guys have noticed this too, and it's probably because I haven't had a chance to look at it, but since they've done the change, they popped up with this things, hey, why don't you check out some of these things and subscribe to them or whatever. I'm like, okay, click. And now I'm just getting all this junk, like, thrown on my page, and it's just like, I don't care about any of this stuff.
Like,
Yeah, and
I'm
so
gonna
I,
have to get rid of the steampunk one I was on because every day I get like 30 messages.
because
Of people
I think they're trying to be
crap.
Facebook. They're trying to give you more reasons to come, but for me, it doesn't work. It just makes it more confusing.
Yeah. And I've found that sometimes things do get a little confused about, like, it's kind of hard to tell when you have a particular photo or something. Sometimes it's hard to tell exactly who you're sharing it with.
Yes,
And
that
if,
too.
if you're
Yeah.
trying to be careful about something, like only sharing it with a specific person, it's not always clear
Yeah.
what the privacy settings are for that, or how you look them up.
Yeah.
So
I
that
do have to
becomes-
say though, the Google backup for photos and video off of Android is fantastic.
Oh, it's amazing.
It is
I
so
love
awesome.
knowing that it's just an
Auto-upload.
automatic.
And it's not the full versions, but I'm fine with it because it's like they're the perfect size for the internet.
Well,
so
you can have it.
Well, yeah, but then you have
versions.
to. Then you
But
have.
then you're using your
space, which I don't want to do.
Right.
But that's fine because the versions that are there are the right size for the internet.
Right.
So I still keep full versions on. It's on my SD card and I transfer them over to my computer.
Sure.
But they're perfect for the internet. I can put them on Facebook, and that's what I do. Is all my pictures I get them from Google, and then I download them on my computer and send them over to Facebook for I wish that Google and Facebook were connected so I could do it that way.
Well, one thing I wanted to bring up, since we talked about like the demise of MySpace, It's interesting to take a long view with a lot of the stuff because Facebook has been a fixture for long enough, and Google too, that we just kind of assume they'll always be there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, these aren't giants that can't be toppled. You know,
Right.
at one time it was almost inconceivable that MySpace would fail.
Or that AOL would be
Yeah.
not a big power.
Gone.
Well, it's
Yeah.
funny to watch things from like the early 2000s or mid 2000s where they're like, "Oh, my MySpace account," or "I'm going on MySpace." It's like, what? Already, it's like weird.
Well, look, they made a movie about AOL's "You've Got Mail."
That's
I mean,
right,
it's
yeah.
just-
But you notice how things like that have stuck with us. You know, "You've Got Mail" is something
Yeah.
that we still say today, and because that's been is anything from MySpace? I mean,
Just a lot of people that got butt hurt that they weren't on their top 8 spaces.
Oh wow! I remember the top 8 spaces. That's right.
How come you're higher than me?
Oh, well, and social networking. That's another thing. Is the idea of friends. That now the people you connect with are your friends, and both
Yeah, all
Facebook
650 of them.
and MySpace did that. You know, and it's like,
Kanye West is my friend.
but I forgot.
No, but if the friends, people get really. I remember back in the day of MySpace, if they look at those top spaces, and if you were like, it
Yeah.
was almost like people get in a fight. It's almost like
Yeah.
a slap in the face or something. Be like, I'm mad at you. So
All right, slap fight again.
you're off my top 8. And it's like, oh, did you hear that they're not on their top 8 anymore?
Yeah,
they're going off.
We'll talk about that in a little while too, because I think that's one of the things is how people feel about it. And that's why I didn't want to get in Facebook. Another thing I want to mention, Facebook, I don't know if they did it or what, but one of the things I think that kept Facebook going also is the fact that you could log on to other things through Facebook. Like, instead of filling out a whole bunch of forms and stuff, you know, for a new site, you can just say, log on with Facebook. You click that button and you click the permissions, and automatically you're all ready to go to this new
you
site.
got to be really careful because it'll post on your
Yeah.
timeline. So it's like, hey, Joey Shamel just filled out, special butt lube or whatever.
Well,
And he likes it.
yeah,
He's
I
off
did
the
that with
regular kind.
Goodreads.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. If it says Facebook, or now I like Google. Google even
Google,
better
yeah.
because I'm becoming so Google. I'm putting everything Google for me, and I love it when it says sign up with Google.
And second factor authentication for when you have really secure stuff is good.
yeah. So all that fits together. So
Since
let's.
I've been doing a lot of crypto coin stuff, a lot of places where you can actually store your digital currency in like an online wallet. Has the option of doing the second factor authentication, which is perfect because that means that your money is going to be safe. Because these sites you could conceivably have like tens of thousands of dollars of Bitcoin sitting in your wallet there. So obviously you don't want to have like some weak password just keeping it supposedly safe.
Does anybody else want to say anything about the history of Facebook or Google? Because I want to move on to one more thing before we start talking about implications.
Well, there's one more, Twitter.
Yeah, that's where I'm going next. So before we go there, anybody else? Okay, let's move on to Twitter. And my thing with Twitter was I liked the idea, but I wasn't into it. I'm still not into it enough, but I'm beginning to see how how incredible a tool it is. Kind of like I did with Facebook, and I'll get to that story in a second. But who uses Twitter here a lot? Anybody?
I don't use it a lot, but I use it in different situations.
Yeah.
One specific one was at Comic-Con. Twitter was a great tool because you can follow, search just hashtag SDCC, and people would put that on all their posts. So I was able to get what's going on the floor, who's signing where, if a comic artist is going to be in this area, check this out. We're giving this out over here, or we're giving away the
It can be a
content.
really good disseminator of news.
Okay, before we get to that, then let's talk about what Twitter is exactly and what it became. Because if I'm correct, Twitter, the idea behind Twitter was just kind of like what was the thing we were talking about before?
Instant messages or ICQ.
No, not that. But
it has elements of that in it.
It has elements of that. That mixed with the
Texting, kind of like
Birds.
Angry Bird.
no the thing
Forums.
Forums, yes. It's like your own personal forum on your life.
Well,
I don't think
it's
it's
like a shout out. It's like you going outside, I think, and just going like you, the crazy dude on the corner, just going like
it's the
saying something in 140 characters out to the world.
Well, remember how I said MySpace was kind of like the broadcast version of a forum? Well, this is like the broadcast version of instant messaging.
There we go. Okay, that makes sense. So you're
Because
broadcasting.
You shout it to the whole world.
That was
Right.
good. That was good.
So
Okay.
that's what made it different. I mean, you could private message someone specifically, But anything you say on Twitter, anyone in the world who cares to look can see what
it.
you said.
And the 140 kept it limited, so you're
Small.
not. Yeah,
It
so
also
people,
made it compatible with phones that had no internet.
And what's
Because
great
the
is-
text message.
With the hashtags, it made it searchable.
well, that's kind of what
Easily
I don't
searchable.
really understand hashtags.
Yeah, well, before we get to the hashtags, it seemed, I think, to most people, Twitter, which is the reason I didn't really go onto it, it seemed like a cool thing, but it didn't seem, what's the word, usable?
Useful?
Useful.
Well, at first, I mean,
User-friendly.
to me, I saw
No.
a lot of it as, hey, I'm eating my lunch.
Exactly. I thought
Taking
the
a dump.
yeah, that's what I
first-
thought.
Hey, check out my cheese sandwich.
Which, by the way, I thought was cool in
Thank
the
you.
sense. Well, no, not you. No, I thought it was cool that you could do that because it's almost like a journal of your life that
Yeah.
you're putting out there for whoever wants
that's
to
one.
read it.
Okay, that was one of the first things I latched onto. Is that this is kind of cool because it's like a micro blog.
Yeah, exactly.
It takes
Yeah.
almost no effort to make a post.
Yeah.
Where like I've had blogs for a long time, but when I really want to sit down and write a full-on post, it takes hours.
Right.
And
Yeah, this
This
is
is
just,
the
this is
thing
just
where
what's
it's
on your mind right
limited
now.
characters, you just kind of do it, and you can have this kind of ongoing thing that like if you look back on it, it's almost like a journal.
Yeah,
But you're
yeah.
keeping that journal in public.
And I love that idea, and also the fact that you'd have friends and you could all keep in touch with what they're doing. Because
Right.
if you didn't care, you wouldn't look. But like, oh, I haven't seen somebody for a while. I wonder what's going on with them. I can, check what his Twitter thing is and see what's going on.
Yeah, and with
Well-
Facebook, the stream, even if you only
Yeah,
have
it's
like
too
100
complicated.
friends,
Right.
it is going by so
see,
fast.
and
Well,
see,
you
now
can
they
wind
made
up with that on
searchable
Twitter,
now
too.
with
But
the hashtags.
Really?
Well, yeah. But once again, before we get to that, we'll get to that.
one of the
'cause-
things I found really useful about Twitter
thanks.
also is when I was teaching my class, it was just a Tuesday, Thursday night class, right? So there's a long lag from class to class, from Thursday to the next Tuesday. And what I did is I set up a specific Twitter account for me as a teacher.
right.
And what I would do is I would tell students like, okay, look, we're probably, we're planning to do a shoot at a certain location next Tuesday, but someone could cancel. We might have
Right.
something come up. Who knows? So watch the Twitter stream, and I can just like mass update all of you. So it was just a way to communicate with my students between classes.
Well, and that's the thing is I started seeing how it became useful, and that's just it. You start. It's not just. It seemed like it was a fun thing to do, and for people who wanted everyone to know what they were doing, and that's
Right.
a lot of the criticism that
A lot of
Twitter got.
narcissism
A lot of narcissism was like, "Hey, look what I'm doing! I want everybody to know."
And you're not like that, Joey.
No, not at all. Gosh, no.
No, never.
Never. But actually, see, that's what I would have liked about it. It was fun, but I never had enough, like, it's hard for me to do things I really want to do, let alone things that are just kind of cool. So I never really got into it, and until recently, I started seeing it as a tool, which I keep calling all these a tool, and I don't mean they're a tool like they're a tool. I mean they're a tool.
Point of order.
Yes.
Point of order.
Odor?
Paul needs to be in the cone of shame.
Oh.
Is he going to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Is he?
I'm pretty sure.
I think he's.
No, I think
on
he's.
the
I think
phone.
he's on the phone.
He got a phone call.
That's
Does
okay.
that count?
No, it's okay.
That's
Oh,
cone of almost shame.
Cone of almost shame. Almost shame.
We only kind of rip on him. We're just like,
All right.
Paul's kind of.
It's okay. I farted in your room. You can smell it later.
Thanks.
All right then.
So it became a.
Everybody's doing it.
So it's a thing where it didn't seem useful, but now with things like hashtags, it's becoming very useful. So let's explain the hashtags, because even now, because I haven't gotten into it, I kind of understand what they are, but I kind of don't.
Well, I wanted to say one last thing about Twitter before we get into that, is that until you could hook up your Twitter account to your Facebook, I never used it. But now I use it every once in a while, and I really like signing up because I like to get the Twitter tweets from Richard Dawkins and also Penn Teller. Well,
Richard Dawkins from Family Feud?
That's Richard Dawson.
Dawson, no. Richard Dawkins is the
And you like that show Dawkins
is the
Creek,
atheist.
right?
He wrote the-
Dawkins Creek.
anyway,
It's like
and
an
also
atheist love story. I don't know.
and also Penn Jillette. I like to get
Right.
Well, and
tweets from him.
that's what we're getting to. Okay, so before we get to hashtag, let's talk about the celebrity corner, or the celebrity idea of it, which is, I think, one of the great things about it is, whether you're a celebrity or not, if you're somebody who has something to say that enough people want to hear, and you're interested in what that person wants to say, you can get instant
Yeah,
messages from them.
you just follow them.
Yeah, and you can actually have a conversation with them or their publicist.
Right.
who's
And
running
so
it.
it
Yeah,
can,
exactly.
yeah. And so it can be just what's going on with them that you're interested in, or it could be like I really like Weird Al and Conan. Both of them just make jokes on it, and they have to be short jokes. But they're
the Barbarian.
Conan, no, the O'Brien.
Oh, okay.
They're big redhead guy.
Coco.
He's a potato.
Yeah, and they just make jokes on them, and you can just pop up and read it. It's funny. Weird Al did this thing once, which I thought was hilarious. I think I mentioned it in another podcast. I was after the phone. He said, "I am currently at the airport waiting for my next flight. The phone number on this payphone is this. Call me if you want to talk to me." Things
so
like
cool.
that are awesome, you know. And for people like that, you can connect to them because they can choose to respond or not, even if they got 1 million followers. Right. And so my story with this is Channel 5 News here in LA on KTLA has an anchor called Chris Sobel, I think his name is. And, you know, he's not really famous, but a lot of people know him. And they...
Was he in Demon?
Sobel, yeah.
Matthew Sobel.
I never thought about that.
What the hell?
And anyway, so as some of you may know, as
Yeah.
growing up, I was an amateur astronomer, and I loved astronomy. And so I had a telescope and looked at things like Saturn and the planet Saturn a lot. And the thing is, when you look at Saturn through a telescope...
Uranus.
No, you look at that Saturn through a telescope, it looks fake. It looks like somebody drew it on there because the rings are so perfectly round and the planet's so round. And so on the news one morning, they were saying one of the cameramen from the helicopter got the super huge lens and did a picture of Saturn, and you could see it, and it looked fake. And everyone's like, "Oh, that's so fake. That's not real. Come on, I can't believe you guys fell for that." And he was saying that too. And I was like, "No," to the TV, like you do. Like when something's wrong on the TV, you're going, "No, you're wrong. That is Saturn." And I was like getting all crazy. And I'm like, wait a second. They have Twitter. They check it during the newscast. So I go to my Twitter account, which has got like 3 things on it. And I go to Chris Sobel's thing, and I say, "Okay, nobody knows what you're doing." Sobel. I think it's Shabo, actually. I'm saying Sobel. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, continue.
So, and I say, actually, that is exactly what it looks like in a telescope. And that's what it looks like. I hardly ever use Twitter, but I had to tell you this. And so after the commercial came back, he goes, I'm getting a lot of tweets from people who are saying that is what Saturn looks like, exactly what Saturn looks like in a telescope. I'm like, he said what I said! Oh my God!
Joey changed the news.
Twitter has its use!
Shamel Wow on Twitter says.
Yes, and that's
Well,
me.
you know what's funny is the way Twitter has changed journalism. Because
Yes.
journalism is no longer really going into interviewing people and doing that. It's if there's a natural disaster, if there's an upheaval somewhere or whatever, right?
An Amber Alert.
The best source of news is Twitter. You're getting it from the source, from the people that are in the
Even
middle
faster
of it.
than what people
Okay.
put on Facebook.
Because remember when that plane crashed a few weeks ago, the Asiana plane?
Yeah.
We
With
were
We Too
At
Low.
SFO.
Yeah, we too
Oh,
low. Did you hear about that?
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, that's part of the podcast.
That's just hilarious. We should mention that because it's really funny.
There's somebody called into the Bay Area, some Bay Area
News station. Yeah.
and said they're the names of the pilots. The reporter got it, so gave it to their managing editor. Managing editor gave it to somebody else, whatever, verify, and then the lady read it on the air. Well, the names of the pilots were like We Too Low.
I can't remember the other ones, but there were some
I gotta look it up.
hilarious
Oh my
ones,
gosh.
like really funny ones.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
we need to look it up.
We'll
'cause
look it. I'll look it.
It was. It's really racist, but it's really funny.
Right now, there's a
And-
lawsuit going on because the guy who got the information, who gave it to the managing editor, said you need to check these names. He's the one getting fired.
There was a guy who might have been Middle Eastern. He was coming in too fast. That was his name. Yeah.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so I was in the car with Kim. We were going to Baby's
It's
R
better
Us.
than my balls as Harry. All right.
Or what was it? Harry Balls. Harry Balls is dead,
Right.
and your retarded brother.
I was just going to say that.
from once again Demon.
Yeah,
book.
we shouldn't listen to audiobooks together before a podcast.
Okay,
Sergeant
so
I haven't gotten through the whole book yet.
yeah, so
Oh, here we go. I got it.
okay.
See back here.
And what was it you kept picturing? Seebeck? What was it?
He was like Solid Snake from Metal Gear
No,
Solid.
no, you said it was a
Okay.
platypus because we were talking.
Oh, that's right.
Not Agent Perry.
He was
from-
Perry, yeah.
And I'm like, Perry doesn't even talk.
All right, the 4 pilots of Asiana Flight 214 was Captain Something Wong.
I love that one.
What?
We too low. Holy fuck. And bang ding ow. Now, I'm not going to play it on here, but do just look up Asiana Flight 214 pilot names on YouTube and watch the videos. That poor reporter who had to say this on the air.
And they didn't catch it at all. They just said it.
Dumbasses.
Oh my god!
Banging out.
And it's like she said it so nice.
Oh my god. Banging
Oh
out.
no. All right, that was
tell you
good.
about-
And now another
Crash
social
with a
network,
gleam
it's
in
on
her
YouTube
eye.
forever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
As
should
long
get
as
to
YouTube's
YouTube.
there.
Yeah, that's one thing to mention about like all the social networking and internet stuff is how stuff never disappears. You know, like
Yeah.
you're a dumbass once,
Oh,
and then
well,
it's
like-
there your whole life.
Like, there's
you know?
just stuff. If you think back when, like, we're in high school and stuff, and you hear jokes and all that, you'd have to like hear it from somebody, heard it from somebody. Facebook. Every day, I see so much
Yeah.
stuff that's so hilarious.
Yeah.
The just the memes.
Well,
that
that's
are
the
going
thing
on.
about,
Nathan
like,
Fillion is really funny, but I have a problem reading it because there's a lingo to Twitter that I don't get yet because of the @ signs in there and the hashtag, and I see all that and I don't see it enough, so it confuses me and I can't read it straight.
Well, the stuff is just at username.
right,
direct.
but it messes me up.
And
I
then the
see it.
hashtags are basically just encapsulated searches.
It's
Right.
keywords.
So
yeah.
if we if we want
Saying
to,
this is a search.
if we want to make
Yeah.
sure our tweet is relevant to like say incoherent ramblings, we would just do like hashtag incoherent ramblings. That way, anyone who searches for that hashtag finds
Oh wait,
our post.
hold. To finish real quick, I was driving. I was on the radio, and the guy on the radio was saying, "We're just getting this from Twitter that there was this crash." And he's like on the TV. He's like, "No news stations have it.
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything yet.
Right.
We're getting it on Twitter." So that's what you were saying, Paul.
Well, and that's the one issue I have with journalism is if I've seen some shows on like CNN or even just whatever newscast, and what they're doing is like, let's check the Twitter feed, and they're just reading off what's on Twitter. They're not doing any investigation.
24
They're just
hour
going off on Twitter. It's they are not verifying anything. It's
24
It's like they're
hour
going with the
news
largest
is-
percentage. Well, if enough people are saying this, it must be happening.
Just report it and then do damage control later.
Well, the thing is too, the news cycle is all about like let's conjecture for 55 minutes and then have like maybe 5 minutes
is
of actual
24
facts.
hours.
By the way, did you know Bruce Lee never drank water?
Really?
He drank water.
Oh shit!
That was a Facebook joke.
No, that was horrible. I have to just say, ouch, ding, ding, ow, whatever it was.
Well, the one I liked recently was where it showed Darth Vader sitting there with who was it?
Penis?
And what?
He's
Where
penis
he
guy.
was? It was they were doing a spoof of Wayne and Garth.
Oh yeah, party on Wayne, party on Darth.
Yeah, Darth.
Yeah.
Party on Darth. Nice.
So as we're getting to the hashtag.
Okay, let's go hashtags now.
It creates a searchable keyword for you, so to follow. So like when I went to Comic-Con, if they'd say follow all Comic-Con news, let's search for a hashtag, which is the # SDCC.
You know, in some ways, it's almost like keyword.
It's keywords.
from AOL.
Yeah.
The only thing is that you can participate because AOL had full control over like you do keyword Verizon or something like that, right? Well, then they would just send you to the Verizon page, right?
Yeah.
But now with the hashtag, it's basically like, you know, if you want to be part of the conversation about Verizon,
Yeah.
Follow
you
that. So you
tweet
search hashtag
with
Verizon,
hashtag
Verizon.
and then
Okay.
any tweet that has hashtag Verizon
All right.
in it.
And it's an
relevant.
ongoing, and it's
So
to be
the
an
thing
ongoing
is,
feed.
no
So some people
company
put
can
hashtags,
really
they put funny
control
stuff like
the
hashtag what I pooped
you know?
up today. You know, it's like it's not really something you're going to search. They're just trying to be funny.
And well, and
Hashtag
the one
Joey's
time that I
underwear.
saw that, the first time I saw that could be useful was when the shuttle was flying over. Was flying over LA. I was at work in downtown LA or near downtown LA.
Which shuttle is that?
The Endeavour
And it's a
space shuttle.
yay.
Yay! But it wasn't landing. It was flying on an airplane because they're taking it to the Norton Simon Museum. No, wait, not Norton Simon. The California Science
Center.
Center. And so we were trying to figure out when it was going to be there because the whole school was watching. And the problem was because we all had iPads, but iPad doesn't have flash. So I couldn't get any news station or anything like that. It wasn't working. I couldn't get anything that was up to date saying where it was. So our tech guy was like, "Here, let me just put you on the Twitter thing," and he put / I don't know what it was, Space Shuttle Endeavor or something. And all of a sudden, I got a feed saying where the shuttle was. Like, people were saying, oh, I just saw it fly over this place, and I had the map, so we were able to tell where it was going to be. And I was like, oh my god, this is brilliant. Like, wow, I didn't even know. I don't think I knew it was Twitter at the time.
It's good for events. That's definitely true.
It is. There was it's a sad story. But at Cal Poly, I was walking from the library to the administration building, and I was always walking over. All these fire trucks were coming, and ambulance and stuff, and all that. And on the way back, I come back to the library, and everyone's asking me, what's going on over there? I said, I don't know. Couldn't find anything, nothing on the Cal Poly side, what's going on. But I go on Twitter, and it's just like one post that says, like, dude hit by car. You know, it's sad, whatever.
Right.
But it's like just within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I know what's going on over there. That it was sad.
Yeah, it's very instantaneous.
Okay, let's maybe talk about YouTube real quick, how that's kind of social networking. Then we'll move on to implications of all the social networking, because I know we got a lot to say about that.
YouTube, I just want to say with the comments, it's a lot of place. It's a good forum for trolling.
Yes.
What's trolling?
Just being a douche.
Troll.
That's something we definitely need to talk about, because that's another thing
that has to do somewhat with like anonymity. Like anytime you have anonymous comments or whatever, people are just like rude to each other because it's a totally different context than being face to face.
Well, why don't we go into that? Because YouTube is just videos socially, and it's the same as everything else we've been talking about.
Kind of like.
So let's talk about the anonymity that social networking over the internet has caused. Because there are people.
Well, some networks make you use your real identity,
but not.
And things tend to be a little more civil in those contexts.
That's probably a good point.
But
yeah,
then,
because you're exposing yourself,
right? But things like forums in general, and I don't know, even MySpace. I don't think you could use like a handle on MySpace, right?
Well, I used to play a video game and be a girl. People thought I was a girl,
right?
Well, and the thing is that it's,
and they had your picture.
I think
it's crazy.
I think for me, the scariest thing is that there's always been crazy, insane people out there, but they usually stay pretty quiet to themselves.
Right.
But now we know they're there, and we hear what they're saying, and it's like, oh my God, there's that many people out there that are insane because they have a forum for their craziness now. Yeah. So it's kind of scary.
You'll also see a lot of people backtrack, like if they're outed. Like if someone goes like, hey, I know who you are, and what you said was like really mean. A lot of people will just be like, "Oh, oops, sorry." You know, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, people grow balls when they don't have to use their real
anonymous
name.
balls, right?
Yeah, and it allows people to be really negative, and that's what you see a lot of is just negativity. People just going on. Is that what trolling is?
Some things
right?
have like almost an enforced anonymity, like the 4chan forums. Now, if you can stomach a lot of crazy stuff, that's something you could go check out, but I'm not necessarily recommending it because it can be kind of hard.
What is a 4chan?
4chan. It's basically a forum where you don't even have to sign up. You don't have to like sign in with the username or anything. Just you can comment on anything and use whatever handle you want. You can change your handle from post to post. It doesn't matter, or just be completely anonymous. And in that context, people just put up all sorts of stuff they probably wouldn't do in any place where they felt like they could be identified. Right. So it's like pure anarchy on a little portion of the internet. So not everyone's cup of tea. It can be kind of interesting to drop in there every now and then, but it can get hardcore really fast. So
yeah, and I think also a lot of you don't know who these people are, and I think a lot of them are like teenage boys, girls. I mean, basically, because you, as an adult, when I see all these posts and they're negative, I think of another adult. But the truth is, these are probably kids going through puberty who are having, issues with self-esteem, and putting things down makes them feel better. Right. And the thing is, you can't tell that when you're reading these things. You just think it's an adult who has a rational mind who's being a dick.
Yeah. Well, how many times did we crank call people?
Oh my God, that's true.
And just be like, "Oh, hello, are you up yours or whatever?" And,
is your refrigerator running?
No, because this is how it was.
We said some mean things.
Yeah, this is what you said.
Is Tony there?
Is Tony there? That was it. There. We have a recording of this. We should find it. Is Tony there? I don't like you. You know why? Because you fall.
Well, I guess bringing it back to the thing about stuff lasting on the internet too, particularly when it's not anonymous. I mean, think about what we would have done in high school to have something, like if we really wanted to get someone, we would have had to like get them on video doing something really bad, which was unlikely because video cameras were humongous and you couldn't be inconspicuous with them. But you would have to get someone doing something really bad, and you would also have to like put it someplace where it's going to remain. And about the only thing we could have done would be like edit it into the music video or video annual,
or play it on a big projector during an assembly or something.
Yeah,
like that.
kind of like that. But you know, aside from doing that kind of like really structured, like I'm going to get you kind of thing, that stuff wouldn't last. You know, it would wind up on a tape on a shelf that got erased at some point. So the thing is now though with the internet, there's this permanence of things. Like you post something to YouTube, and even if you delete it later on, someone's going to have a backup of that out there.
Yeah, that's very true.
There's just recently, there's the receiver in the Philadelphia Eagles, Ryan Cooper, who was caught on video. He was with his friends. He was receiving some, but he looks over. He says something about I'll take on all those N words and stuff.
Yeah.
But that went viral. It went to the whole league and everything. Now he's been suspended, had to do training, all this other thing. They're saying like he should be fired and all that. Well, this, I don't know who, if it's just one thing he said, it can now end up costing his job.
Right.
That's one thing. We all did stupid things growing up that we didn't have to worry that were recorded or said or kept for posterity.
Like
usually.
it used to be like,
but now
what if someone took a snapshot of you like passed out drunk on the floor or something? That would be like, who would see that,
somewhere.
right?
Yeah,
who would see that? They might give it to you and say, haha. But now it's like everyone's going to put it on Twitter and Facebook, and it's going to be everywhere.
Well, and it's as having a kid now.
And then your employers are going to see it.
Yes, that's
trying for a job, right?
But that's the thing, as having a kid now, and Paul, I'm sure you thought about this. We both have boys, but for girls even more so. This is part of something you got to teach the kids early on. They need to understand this is going to be there forever. This will never be gone. So you have to think before you do something. And I'm sure, by the time our kids are teenagers, that's going to be something that's just, ingrained in
I think
them.
there's going to be a little bit of like a cultural forgiveness because we're all going to be in the same boat.
Yeah.
And we're of a generation that we didn't grow up with it. But I think the generation that does grow up with it is going to be somewhat forgiving. It's like you're looking to hire someone and they have like, oh, well, they only had 2 pictures of being drunk, passed out on the floor. Everyone else has 15. Right. So it's going to be like, all right, we can forgive that.
Well, I think too, as kids, the new generation, our generation, we know things are private. They're growing up knowing that things are public.
Right. So but a lot of them still don't care, from what I've seen.
Well, that's the thing.
That's just what you're.
Well, when you're a kid and so emotional, going through puberty, you're not rationally thinking about what you're saying. I see some of my nephews and nieces say things on Facebook like, "Oh, that guy should be killed," or this. They're angry at something. Yeah. But I look at it and go, "That's there forever now."
Yeah.
That if that person accidentally got killed or murdered, they're going to come look for you because you said that.
And Kim and I already decided, because we understand that, mobile electronics and social networking is going to be a part of our kids' life early on. We are already in agreement that our kids have no privacy until they're much older, probably even 18. Like, we'll let them do especially a boy, do his little, thing he's going to do in the bathroom, masturbating, which is fine, but as for privacy, no, you don't have it.
Boys do that?
Yeah, they do.
Girls do too.
Yeah, girls do. But
what?
Privacy-wise, you don't have it.
Girls just don't admit it.
The computer will be in the main room. Every account you have, we'll be able to see. We will regularly check your phone, everything, because we want to teach you to be safe and make sure you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Even the stuff we say.
Yeah, no kidding.
Even the stuff we say on this podcast. Yeah. We have said some outrageous shit.
Yes.
Damn it!
Like
son
shit.
of a bitch! I swore again. But it's there, and we have ruined our possibility for public office completely.
Oh yeah.
None of us will ever be elected to anything.
The thing is,
I don't know. We've done some
Wiener.
good stuff that politicians do. Yeah. Wiener.
Yeah.
Wiener.
Yeah.
Hey.
Best name ever.
Boy, they're sure.
I know.
I can't believe these famous people actually are taking pictures of themselves naked and sending them to people in this day and age.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, yeah, it's all the naked pictures like Scarlett Johansson and stuff and all them. It's just...
Okay, so
I know a Google search I'm going to do when the podcast is done.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
She says in her.
Dildo Baggins.
Dildo Baggins?
But no, Leo Laporte said that live on
I know I
TV one
did.
time.
I love that.
Because it was great. He was talking about like how good surround sound is. And he was talking about watching Lord of the Rings on a home theater system. And he's like, and you've got dildo coming out of the rear speaker.
Yeah. Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh, what I was going to say is, if we ever run for public office, though, we're not going to be regular public. We're going to want people to know. Like,
Well, it's gonna. First thing you say is, if you want to know anything completely outrageous, this is, you go to Incoherent Ramblings, and it's all there, and I admit to it.
Yeah, exactly. If I was going to run for public office, I'd just be like, I'm me.
I think about 5 times this podcast, we lost the Asian vote.
Yeah, and pretty much everything else.
Yeah.
You know what, though? I wanted this. If I was into politics enough, I would love to be a politician that ran on the thing.
They
that
are kind of like
saying,
tits, though.
yeah,
Little
saying.
bloodsuckers.
Remember the thing that started the reality thing on the internet? I think it was called Jenny Cam, where she always, she would always, her whole life, she just had a webcam on all the time, so you'd see her life. I'd want to do that as a politician, so that everybody could see the dealing and everything that went down, and know how honest I'm being. And what I'm saying is saying, because they see everything, every deal I have, everything that goes down. It's on the web. You can watch it.
Oh,
And
you
no
could be
other
the
politician would talk to
Google
you.
glasses.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Oh, yeah,
But the thing is, but that's just it. The thing is, you bet if I had that, everybody would be behind me. I'd have the support of the public. So
Right.
it
I don't know
would
if
pressure
that's-
the other politicians.
I don't know if that's realistic because, I mean, governments have to keep back deals and whatever.
They don't
kind
allow
of
cameras
out
in
of
strip clubs. So.
the spotlight. That too. Yeah.
They've
How are you
checked.
going to get your work done?
Well, that's the whole thing. Is I wouldn't be running for like president. I'd be running.
on my
For,
There's a
application.
video of
Said no
a
camera.
bouncer in New York letting, like, the guy's rolling video. A bouncer at a strip club in New York is talking to the guy about his Google glasses. He even asks at one point, "What's that thing on there?" And he's like, "Oh, it's a camera." Like, yeah, what can you do with that? It's like, oh, I can shoot video. And the guy lets him in anyway. I mean, it's serious. It's crazy.
Conan had this hilarious thing where they were showing this guy who was doing showing how his Google Glass works. He's walking down the street and he's like, "Okay, let's go to this place." Okay, as you can see, and then they cut in a shot of a bus hitting him. And it's on the ground, and it was such a perfect edit. And you don't expect it because he's paying attention to the Google Glass. It was hilarious.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, that's another thing is, with Google Glass, your social networking could be happening anywhere, anytime. I mean, we've talked about augmented reality before and how cool that's going to be, but also it means that
Even less privacy.
yes, and that's just
The
it.
thing is, it's a nice ideal to think that we could have people in power not keep secrets, but really, for security, you do have to keep certain things
It's
secret.
the secrets that give us power.
So, if you were, talking with someone about like new designs for a power plant or something, you wouldn't want that to be out in the public so people would know exactly where to hit it if they wanted to attack it. for example.
Honestly, my view on politics is that the main politicians and the politics that everybody argues about and fights about, like, that's all just a show. Because, the people who are doing the real work, they're not out there,
they're not
making
being hogs.
big noises.
Making bacon.
It's just because we need to feel like we have.
Speaking of politicians,
We need to feel like we have some say in it, because if we don't have something to fight and argue about and get upset about or have part of, we won't feel like we're part of the system. But I think probably running government is the most boring thing in the world, and the accountants and the pencil pushers who actually do the work are not in the spotlight. It's almost like politicians are there to keep us feeling like we're a part of things.
To keep us distracted from what's really going on.
from the aliens.
Joey's new conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
No, I don't feel it's a conspiracy.
Right.
I feel that politicians do have say in things, and things they do matter. But I think when it comes down to the nuts and bolts of running the government, it's really not as much the politicians as much as we think it is. It's really just everyday work by things that are boring.
Well, that's
That
why
we wouldn't want to
the
talk about.
government they created committees where
Why are
actually
we on
then
topic?
a lot of them are private.
Yeah.
But that's where the real work of government goes on, and then they go out to the public where they talk to everybody. And
And that's what's great, because very like Obama going on Twitter to connect with
He brought it back.
to connect with the people. So it makes you feel like you are participating with your politicians.
yeah,
And that's true.
That
Twitter
sounded
is
perverted.
Well played, sir.
Well played.
Well played.
Are we getting off topic?
Yeah, we
We were way off.
We are way us
And before-
incoherently rambling.
One other thing I want to say about celebrities and on the Twitter and all the social networking is it's really used for a lot of narcissism, because it's almost like the Kardashians on Facebook, on Twitter. It's like if they're not in the spotlight for too long, it's like you got to show me, like, hey, look what I'm doing and stuff. So I think these social networks can be used a lot as a, like everything that I'm doing, give me more. I want more likes. I want to feel good about myself. So I need people to tell me how awesome I am.
Yeah.
And that's another part
That's
of.
how I use it.
Me too.
Yeah.
I do the same thing.
Awesome.
All right, I think we've.
Love being
Taking a dump.
in the spotlight.
What else? Was there anything else we were going to hit on? Oh, bullying.
Women.
Bullying. I'm very happy we did not grow up in this age and having to deal with any of the cyberbullying stuff.
Back to what we were saying about
China.
teenagers. There's so much going on with hormones and puberty. It's so hard to get through that time in life. It just now it's so much more difficult because it's not just a few people that can be bullying you. It's
Yeah,
The
it's
world.
instant. It could be one person who calls you a bitch or something like that, or say like, "Hey, look at the picture of Paul in his underwear or whatever," and then it gets broadcast to everybody.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's
See that in the show notes.
Yeah. And that's kind of scary. I
I am
mean,
not looking forward to that.
you've really got to learn how to have a tough skin and early on realize that what's being said on there is. Well, it's even hard to. How do you tell that to your kid? You got 100 people saying you're a dick or you're a bitch or whatever, and you're like, what they say doesn't matter. But there's like 100 people
Yeah.
that said it.
They're all laughing at
you
you
really
stuff,
got to teach them to have a tough skin because it's gonna happen.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you had 100 people singing your praises, you'd probably feel pretty good about it. But when it's the opposite, then it makes you feel horrible.
And that's what's rough about everything. I mean, anybody who's worked in customer service knows that complaints
That
come
you
in.
shouldn't. That's
Well, everybody should. No, everybody should once.
Yep,
There's a time and place for everything, and it's called college. And
that's why it's minimum wage.
yeah, and in customer service, you get far more complaints than compliments from anybody who writes in. It's just because people, when they're mad, want to complain. When
Right.
they're happy, they're just happy and they forget about it.
They don't hold as much weight.
There's not much
Management as well
feedback
either.
from happy people.
No.
Yeah. And that's the internet. I mean, that's the way it is.
Good at.
Right.
She was really good.
Okay, I think
right.
we've just about.
Beating this to a pulp.
Yeah, unless anyone wants to mention anything else about
Speaking
social-
of beating it to a pulp,
Yeah. Penis?
That face you made was
shit.
something
What
else.
was the name of that chat roulette?
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the best inventions ever because I got a lot of enjoyment. Not watching people beat it off, but just randomly clicking the pages and seeing people go, oh, and disappear.
Yeah, because it was that same South Park episode where they're trying to find friends for let's just do chat roulette.
Chat roulette.
And he'd be like, oh, there's a penis. There's a guy walking off. Another guy walking off. Okay, there you go. Here's the guy. No, he's taking out his penis.
So that's it on penis.
All right. So next week is my choice, and are you ready? Because it's a biggie.
Nope.
Next
We'll
week
never be ready.
we will be discussing free will.
Free will.
Yes.
Only Rush in my band.
I'm gonna
All day, all the time.
I'm gonna say if you have a chance, try to
Listen
read
to the song.
Yeah, but that's not. I was gonna say if you can get, I'll put.
We're coming on the one. All right.
If you get a chance, I'll put it up. I'll try to get it, or maybe Daryl, you can get a copy of Incognito, the book I've been quoting the last few weeks, because it really goes into like what the idea
Can
of
you read it in a week?
Yeah, it's
on Audible. You
Yeah.
can listen to it.
Yeah,
In a week?
yeah, you can.
Oh
probably
yeah,
listen to
if we don't-
it's only like
I think
8 or 9 hours,
at
something
the
like
most.
Oh gosh, that's what you
Dude,
said
that's like
about demons. Like
Dude,
25 hours.
I know, dude.
God.
I'm like,
Yeah, every
that's
book
the
is
last
8 or 9
line.
hours.
Yeah.
But
Later, I'm going,
I listen to 40 minutes a day, 20 to work, 20 to back.
but if you get a chance, I'll try to find the chapters that are, because it's not all about free will. So maybe I'll find the chapters that are about free will and
So-
I'll put those up.
So if
you
I don't
just
have
watch
time
Free
for
Willy?
it, can I? Yeah, exactly.
What?
Oh no!
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah, we just watched Free Willy.
But yeah, next week we're gonna talk about free will. Does it exist or is it an illusion? What does it mean to have free will?
My wife says I have free will.
Nice.
Free willy.
It's an illusion.
So
I lost my free will when I had a kid.
is there what's it called? What's the opposite of free will? It's called determinism.
Yeah.
If that's what's really going on.
Okay.
So anything like that. So I'll try to put some links up, and that's what we're gonna talk
Chat
about.
Roulette is all about free will.
Yeah. Randomosity.
Yeah.
All right, so we will talk to you next week. I am Joey Schammel, and you can find me at iamrambling.com. I remembered it this time.
Yes. I am Paul Hottinger, and you can find me at heyitspaul.com.
I'm Cale Anderson. You can find me at Rom's Rants at romsrantsblogspot.com.
And I'm Daryl Jors. You can find me at www.jors.com. That's GIORS.
Do we have links to all these sites on our
Not yet, but
Page.
we're going to be redoing the webpage soon.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting. Do you want to
We
be
hired a
in
little
charge?
Cambodian
Okay,
kid.
I'll probably do something about it. It's good.
Yeah, so our
He's
webpage
pretty
is
good,
going to be
right?
better.
After he finishes the shoes.
Did you just say something about a little Cambodia?
Did he do it
Well,
on
we
the
just
website?
lost the Cambodian
Well, our
audience.
website's going to be better, and we're going to actually pick up where we left off because we haven't been.
And the great thing is with the
publishing for a while.
Cambodian kid, not only do we have a new website, but he can gold farm for everybody on World of Warcraft.
Oh, God, that's awesome.
Is that you too low?
You know, I'm going to sell my
Ouch,
my
being
Warcraft gold on eBay because I think
I'm gonna start the music. Pig stop right now. Go!
it's stomping.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Bye! Woo! Thanks for listening. You can now stop screaming at the open air. Listeners should put their minds back in their upright positions and resume traditional thinking. Find us on iamrambling.com for access to all of our weekly ramblings, show notes, general discussions, and any projects from Incoherent Ramblings. Like us on Facebook and rate us on iTunes. So long, and thanks for all the fish.